Good morning, everyone, and welcome in our webcast live. It's really great that you all are connected to our webcast. Of course, this is an event that's been created, that's been organized because of the COVID pandemic and because we cannot see you in real life on our trade shows all around Europe. So I'm really happy to be able to do this and to be able to give this webcast in English. To show you around and to explain you a bit more in detail about our ecosystem and about all the filtration and all the equipment that keeps people safe in the labs. So I'm really happy to present to you that now today. Of course, to start, Erlab, our company, is founded 50 years ago, and we are experts in air filtration. We are experts in air filtration because 50 years ago, in 1970, we invented the first ductless fume hood. And until today, we are still the #1 supplier in ductless fume hoods. And the reason for that is because we do a risk assessment. We do a risk assessment each time we sell a ductless fume hood to make sure that the person who works with chemicals, you are kept safe at every time in the lab. So I'm going to take you through the Erlab ecosystem, and let's start with that risk assessment, the e-Valiquest. So Erlab, over the years, we've developed a tool which is called the WEBCAST. Earlier, we developed WEBCAST, which was an Excel file, and today it's all online. So what the goal is of the e-Valiquest is to see what is the hood that you would like to buy. Not only what type of hood you would like to have, but also what configuration of filters do you need to be kept safe, what's the lifetime of the filters, and what is the detection mean that we can use in order to make sure that that you're kept safe, and that when there is this filter saturation, that you're kept up to date of the status of the fume hood. So this is the e-Valiquest, and I'm going to show you very quickly how this the Erlab safety program works. So here you can see that our laboratory, which has a lot of experience over the years, has a lot of different manipulations. So the goal is that our customers, they fill in. They click on the manipulation that they want to do in their fume hood. So, for example, agitation. And then we ask a lot of different informations, such as which are the chemicals that you're going to use, what's the concentration of that chemical, what are the quantities that you're going to use, and exposure time. So, for example, let's do a little demo. Here we start with acetone. So we're going to use acetone in this manipulation, concentration, quantity, and exposure time. We can continue. You can also add any chemicals which are not listed already on that list, which is also an important detail, just because, of course, the list can be very, very long. But sometimes we ask in that case to send us the safety data sheets. What we ask as well in that case is, of course, how often do you do this handling in order to know what the lifetime of those carbon filters will be. Then you can add any comments on the section here on the left, or you can add any pictures. If it's a manipulation that we are not familiar with, you can add any information that's needed in order to configure the right hood. So we confirm, and then you can add any other manipulations that you want to do in the same fume hood. Here you get an overview of the manipulations that you're going to do. And then we go to the next step. What is really useful about the e-Valiquest, so I confirm that we are talking about 2 manipulations in this fume hood. And then we get an overview of all the fume hoods that are applicable in this application. And that is really good about the e-Valiquest. The e-Valiquest allows not only to select and do a risk assessment based on the manipulations that you're going to do in your fume hood, but you also get a view on all the different models that are available with their expected lifetime of the carbon filters. And so what you can do then is you can click on the fume hood that you would like to have. You can download the technical data sheet, and you can configure the hood to your needs. So you can see the configuration of filters, which is proposed already by the lab. And you can click on, would you like to have a bench cap? Would you like to have a work surface? And which type of work surface, etc. So the e-Valiquest is really a tool that allows you to go all the way through a risk assessment to know that the configuration that we proposed is the right one, is going to keep you safe. And then we get all that information, and we will let you know. So this is an overview of a risk assessment that we do in order to make sure that the configuration we propose, the filter type that we propose is the right one. And here, for example, you can see a filter configuration. And that's very important to know because it is a flexible technology. You can change easily the configuration according to your needs. So for example, if you, within a year, you're going to change your manipulations, you can change the filter configuration as well. So what you see here, we have 3 layers of filters. We start with a HEPA filter, which is for powders mainly, and then we have a carbon filter and a backup carbon filter. So this is really a configuration when you work with powders, but also with liquids, to be protected for the whole manipulations, the old manipulations that you're going to do in the fume hood. What's happening afterwards? You bring this one down, and a new one comes on top, which is the revolving system to make sure that you're kept safe at all time. So let's continue. And now I'm going to show you a quick overview on all the different Captair Smart ductless fume hoods, all the different models that we have here. So as you can see here, an overview behind me, we have different hoods with different sizes. So here we have the smaller units. So the one on the right of me, this one measures 78 centimeters in width. And then we have a bigger one of 1 meter, 80 centimeters on the left. Also, the depth of the fume hood can change from 62 centimeters until 75 centimeters. So let's have a look at the smallest unit that we have in our Captair Smart range, which is the 321 unit. And as you can see, fume hoods are used for many different applications. And for example, this unit is going to be used very frequently as a weighing station. As you see here, the weighing station is equipped with an analytical balance, and it goes up to a precision of 6 digits, which is really good. The airflow is really suited for a good weighing efficient powder station. So what you see here, again, is the Captair Smart, the Smart model, the Smart module. So what you see here is we have a light, and the light will start pulsing if there is a problem with the fume hood. So that's also really important on the Captair Smart range. They are all equipped with this smart technology. So you get an alarm by having a light indication, but also by sound. And that's what you can see here, for example. You see different pictograms, and when you hear different beeps, you will get an indication of what's happening with the fume hood, what's the status of the fume hood. So 2 beeps, for example, will mean that the airface velocity is dropping, 3 beeps when there is a filter saturation, and 4 beeps when there is a fan failure. So that's the Smart technology, which is equipped actually on the whole Captair Smart range of fume hoods that we have here. Something else that I really wanted to share with you, I wanted to show you, is the reverso front opening. So the bigger units allow us to have a more ergonomically friendly user experience. So you can easily have access a bit higher. So for example, for me who is a tall guy, I want to have access to the fume hood a bit higher. So I can easily have access now here. But when I'm sitting down, or when a person is not that tall, you can just flip the panel and have access a bit lower in the fume hood. So this is the reverso front door, and is also a standard feature on all the different fume hoods with a multi-column configuration. What you can do as well is you can take it out. So you can take out the panel, and you can put in equipment, large equipment, for example. But then, of course, afterwards you have to put it back to make sure that the airface velocity is correct, to make sure that the person is working safely with the chemicals in the fume hood. So this is the 483 unit. This is the 714 unit, 1 meter 80 centimeters in width. And then I want to tell you a bit more in the Captair Smart range about our storage cabinets. Our storage cabinets, which you can see here, this is the 834 unit, and which is also equipped with the Smart technology. So you can see here, this is the control panel with the different pictograms if there is a problem inside the storage cabinet, and it will give you a light signal or a sound signal when there is something wrong with the fume hood. Behind this control panel, you will have the filters, so a particulate filter or carbon filter, or both of them, depending on what you store in the fume hood. But it is a very flexible way to store chemicals. You don't have any extraction to the outside. We have two options. We have this storage cabinet can open by having this door, just by opening the door. We also have another option of sliding extractable doors. So you take out the whole inside of the storage cabinet to make sure that you can have access to your chemicals easier. And as you can hear, the ventilator, the fan is speeding up just to make sure that all the chemicals stay inside the chemical fumes. We separate two compartments because when you're storing acids and solvents, you need to store them in a separate compartment. So that's also really beneficial on this unit. We have two other storage cabinets, which is the Capter Smart 822. This is an underbench storage cabinet, and as you can see, this is also with an extractable door. So you can just take out the whole inside of the storage cabinet. So this is for storage of larger bottles. Also equipped with our smart technology to monitor the status of the storage cabinet. So this one with extractable doors, and this one with sliding doors. So also the Capter Smart 822 unit. When we're talking about storage cabinets, it's really important that we have flexible storage cabinets. So we make them independent. So therefore, we also developed another system which is called the ChemTrap, which you can see here on the left. And this is really an exciting product that I want to share with you because the ChemTrap makes your laboratory even more independent. You connect a ChemTrap with a fireproof storage cabinet, of course, and then you make it just standalone, and it will filter all the chemical fumes that are inside the storage cabinet. So how does it work? This one is a unit that you put on top of a taller storage cabinet, fireproof storage cabinet, and you connect it just very simply with a hose. So it's just plug and play, very easy to install, and your storage cabinet becomes ventilated, and you are being protected for all the chemical fumes which are coming free in the storage cabinet. We have another unit as well, which is the V version, which is going to be alongside an underbench fireproof storage cabinet, which will allow you to filter the fumes that are eventually coming free in the storage cabinet. So both of these units, very easy to use, smart technology, and independent. So let me take you to a product that you may have seen when we did an overview of the whole Capter Smart range, which is the Halo. And the Halo is a product which is also independent and is going to purify the air automatically in the lab. So the Halo is a very exciting product that will give you extra safety in the laboratory, and that is by using another filter inside this enclosure, inside this unit, which will purify the air when there are powders, when there are viruses, bacteria in the space where you work, or when there are any chemical fumes coming free inside the workspace, when you're not feeling safe in the lab. So there are 5 units. We have 2 units with HEPA filter or ULPA filter, so a particulate filter when there are bacteria. Also now during COVID, you can have this Halo system in order to make sure that aerosols are purified from the lab. And then we have 3 other units with an activated carbon filter for acids, solvents, and formaldehyde. The younger brother, or the small unit of the smaller option that we have next to the Halo, is the Halo Sense. And the Halo Sense is not equipped with a filter, but the Halo Sense is actually a small air quality monitor. So it will give you an idea if you're working safely in the lab. So a very simple, but such a necessary topic and such a necessary product to have in the lab, to give the people in the lab this certainty, this safety, to make sure that you're kept safe. So what will it do? It will give you an alarm by light and by sound when you're exposed to any chemicals in the lab. VOCs, acids, and formaldehyde. Right, so we've had a look on the whole ecosystem of the Capter Smart range. What I wanted to show you as well during this webcast is our green fume hood technology. And the green fume hood technology is actually a more advanced technology compared to the Capter Smart ductless fume hoods. And it is because we work with partners. We work with partners worldwide who are going to integrate our filtration technology into their enclosures. Those partners also make ducted fume hoods. So they use our filtration technology to propose that as an alternative for their ducted fume hoods in their catalogs. So that's what we propose here. And this technology consists out of 3 parts, which is, of course, filtration, a very versatile filter, then communication, and, of course, detection. So we have installed different technologies to make sure that there is detection of chemicals inside the fume cupboard when there is a filter saturation. So this is the green fuming technology when there is a use of large quantities of different kinds of chemicals in the lab. Right, so what we also have at Erlab, these products that you've all seen now are all there to protect the user inside the lab, to make sure that what you're using, that the person who is working with chemicals is kept safe. What we also have at Erlab are 3 products to protect the samples. So one of those products is a clean air enclosure, which is called the capped air flow, which is the other way around. So the air is blown inside the enclosure to make sure that what you're using inside that enclosure is in a clean air environment. So a capped air flow, which makes sure that you get an ISO 5 classified air inside the enclosure. The capped air flow, but also the capped air bio. And the capped air bio is actually the same principle, a clean air enclosure, but equipped as well with UV light to make sure there is no cross-contamination. And the third product is the capped air pyramid, which is a glove box, a PVC glove box that you can take with you when you're doing research on the spot. So it's a very simple takeaway capped air pyramid glove box. How can we assure? We've talked a lot about filtration, about the different technologies, configurations, the halo, etc. But we've talked also about the smart technology. And how can you monitor, how can you make sure that all these hoods and all these equipments are functioning correctly and that you can monitor them easily yourselves by using, for example, your tablet or smartphone. That's why we developed the eGuard application. So the eGuard application is an online website, a portal, on which you can register all the different capped air smart systems that we proposed and that I just showed you in our experience room. So the eGuard application allows you to monitor all the different equipments. So it gives you an idea of the filter efficiency, fan speed, and you can change your settings, and you can also see the history. So when was there an alarm, and you can anticipate and make sure that the people stay working safely in the lab, and that you make sure that the filters are replaced in time. So you can see here all the different equipments installed here in our experience room, which are connected to the eGuard. When you stay connected to the eGuard application, and when you change the filters correctly according to Erlab's recommendations, you get up to 10 years of warranty. That's a really good advantage, just to make sure that when you're working with our fume hoods and with our products, that you're kept safe at all time, and that we together can make sure that even after 10 years, you can change your configurations, you're still in contact with us, and we make sure that you, when you work in the lab, that you are kept safe all the time. So thank you very much for listening. It was a brief but a good walkthrough through all the Erlab ecosystem, I hope. If you have any questions, please ask them now. Now is the time, so please let me know. So I see that there are no questions for the moment. So if there are any questions, please contact us on our website or by just sending us an email to salesuk@erlab.net. And I hope that you have another great experience with the WEBCAST, which is organized next Wednesday. That's organized by our R&D director, which is Cedric Herry. He will talk about filtration and air purification in the lab in general, but more into detail. So I hope to see you on that WEBCAST live.